Okay, so yesterday we showed you the correct form, or the standard form, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And we're still going to be putting our circles in that form, so not any change there. But the only difference is the way that we're given the problem. So let's start with this one. X squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 28y plus 181 equals 0. Now, our basic concept on these problems today is basically just completing the square. And I believe we talked about this earlier in the year. You should have done this in Algebra 2 class. It's maybe been a little while. But the first thing you want to do, thinking about the form that our equation is up here, you want to get all of your x's together. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared minus 2x. Then I'm going to leave a space there. Then I'm going to write my y's. So plus y squared plus 28y. I'm going to leave a space. And I'm going to take the constant value, which is my 181, and I'm going to move it over to the other side. So that makes it a negative 181. So step one is get all the x's together, all the y's together, move the constant to the right. Now, from this point, again, remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this equation to look like this so that we can determine the center and we can determine the radius. So if I'm going to take this x squared minus 2x and make it look like this, I'm going to try and make this a perfect square trinomial. So what I do is I'm going to take my b value, or the value in front of the x, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So what's negative 2 divided by 2? Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. And if I square that, what's negative 1 squared? 1. So I'm going to add 1. They say, well, why can I just add 1 to the equation? Well, I can't just add 1 to the equation, but I can add 1 to the left and add 1 to the right, because that balances the equation. I'm going to do the same thing with my y's. What's half of 28? 14. And what's 14 squared? 196. Again, I can't just add 196 to the left. I've got to add it to the right also to keep the equation balanced. Now, what we have created here is a perfect square trinomial, 2 of them. So if I condense this, x squared minus 2x plus 1, that is really the same thing as x minus 1 squared. Plus, this is also now a perfect square trinomial. It is y plus 14 squared. If I add all these together, negative 181 plus 1, it gives me negative 180 plus 196. That gives me 16. And now it makes it pretty simple for us to identify the center and the radius. What would the center be? 1, negative 14, with a radius of 4. So for example 2, let's do this one. X squared plus y squared plus 20x plus 20y plus 164 equals 0. Okay, so think about what we said. Step 1, gather the x's, gather the y's, move the constant to the right. So when we do that, x squared plus 20x plus a blank plus y squared plus 20y plus blank equals negative 164. So here we go. Half of 20 is 10. 10 squared is 100. I'm going to add 100 over here because I added it to the left. Same thing with my y's. It's also 20, so half of 20 is 10. 10 squared is 100. Because again, I added 100 here. I'm going to add another 100 to the right. For my parentheses, I may not have been clear on this on the first problem. For my parentheses, basically all you're doing is you're taking the square root of the first term and the square root of the second term. What's the square root of 100? 10. So it's x plus 10 squared. The other thing you've got to pay close attention to is this sign right here. For this sign here to be positive, this sign here has to be positive. If when I take the square root, this sign is negative, then this will also be negative. Then we're going to do y plus 10 squared. 100 plus 100 is 200, minus 164 is 36. So my center for this one, negative 10, negative 10, that's the center. The radius, square root of 36 would be 6. Okay, I'm going to give you one more, and I want you to do this one on your own, and then we'll go through it here in just a few minutes, just so you can kind of check to see that you're on the right track. X squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 24y plus 120 equals 0. So again, see if you can put the equation of the circle in standard form, and then find the center and find the radius. So we get our x's together. We've got x squared minus 2x. Get your y's together, y squared plus 24y. Move our constant to the right. That makes it negative 120. I'm going to take half of negative 2, that's 1. So I'm adding just 1 squared, which is 1. Half of 24 is 12. 12 squared is 144. I'm adding 144 to both sides. I factor x squared minus 2x plus 1 gives me x minus 1 squared plus y plus 12 squared. And on the right side, we get 25. So my center would be 1, negative 12, radius of 5. Show of hands, how many of you got that?